Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Fun Fans Podcast. I am actually your host tonight, Bailey Jackson. We have a great show lined up, but James is out on the road living the rock star life in a hotel.
That's right.
We're going to point out how fun, what does that say, James? A little LOL in sports can be?
I'm telling you.
It says
How
LUL.
lull. It's a lull. The show is about a summer.
Well,
A
that's
lull.
two L's.
Whatever.
But we're also going to tell you what you cannot miss this summer. We're going to talk about college baseball, especially the Clemson game that just ended. And we're going to spell it all out right here on this show. But first, the Fun Fans are a proud part of the Fanboys Fangirls Sports Podcasting Network. If you're a true sports fan, the Fanboys Fangirls is perfect for you. Find various nationwide podcasts and other sports media at thefanboys.com and all forms of social media. The Fun Fans is the official podcast for Clemson fans.
And we love to eat at Reuben's. I eat at Reuben's all the time. I wish there was a Reuben's near where I'm at right now because we're sitting here wondering where we're going to get some supper. But Reuben's Food, Sports, Spirits, and Catering. Bailey has this memorized, but I don't. There's one in Greer and there's one in Powdersville. So go to ReubensC.com and check it out. But it's a great place for all fans of good food.
That's right.
Hey,
now, I got to hide that. I'm actually driving the ship tonight. So, bear with me, people. I still got the Masters music playing because that's the mood I was in after the Clemson baseball game. And I think we should probably just go ahead and talk about that first.
Let's just jump right into it.
All right. So we ran into a buzzsaw, as they say.
Yes.
Florida, which was ranked number 2 to start the season, struggled some during the year, had some pitching issues, but they seem to be putting it all together at the right time. So, great season. It was a little bit, I won't say it was controversial today. There was just a little bit of everything in the baseball game that lasted 5 hours.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of everything. Some folks probably will say it's controversial, but I think you described it best. And just there were a lot of home runs. There were hit by pitch. There were ejections, extra innings. There were moments where Cam Canarella was about to look like the hero, which he got us those extra innings. But then their guy that has had a rough season or not producing, and then all of a sudden in the postseason he's doing real well. He didn't have
a rough season. He didn't play.
He didn't play. Yeah, so there's storylines all over the place. Their coach being a former Clemson assistant. I mean, there's some crazy storylines, and kind of I hate we didn't push it. Well, obviously hate we didn't win the whole thing.
Right.
But definitely hate we didn't get the win today to go to a game 3. But I mean, what more can you ask for out of the team, out of the players? Our coaches, I won't say left it all on the field because they had to leave the field. Even the coaches left it all on the field. So let's go back. Let's go all the way back to the two umpire moments.
Okay.
I think the kids played well. Both teams. I mean, you're talking about 2 really good baseball teams went after it. And it's unfortunate that what everybody's going to talk about are things that happen with the umpires. So those kids run into each other in first base, and they get off me kind of stuff.
Which is what teenage boys
That's what adults do. Right. That's what everybody is going to do.
Right.
Yeah. And they do all that, and they watch the film and end up ejecting the kid that was going to come to the dugout from – he was running from second to third or something. He was going to come to the dugout anyway because it was the third out.
Right.
But supposedly they had ejected him for coming towards the scuffle. Is that real? I mean, did that really happen?
I'm just telling you. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is a societal issue where It just really is. We don't want anything to happen. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. So sports, when we played, you were probably going to mix it up with somebody on the other team.
Right.
I don't mean like fight, but you were going to run your mouth a little bit. They were going to run it back to you. It was going to be one of these, you better be quiet or I'm going to do this. Or, I tell my son all the time, baseball is a sport where there are ways to get people back. And I hate to say it like that, but like, I'll make a comment like, if he threw me that pitch, the next time he was up, he'd have one in his ear hole. He's got a helmet. He's got a helmet on,
That's right.
It's just not done like that anymore.
No.
Good or bad, right or wrong, whatever.
Well, and even if now we were talking before we got on, we'll talk about it the next thing in a minute, I guess, but the physical altercations, if you're going to make strict rules about the physical altercations, that's one thing. But if you can't interpret what the kids are doing on the field and take that away from or separate that from was that part of the physical altercation, then I mean you're just doing it wrong. I mean that umpire, the strict rule of if they would have pushed and shoved or somebody would have come to, okay, well, this guy came towards the conflict, but there were 3 outs and he is towards his dugout. So maybe we shouldn't inject him for that.
Or maybe when they were debating, the kid Mathis hit a go-ahead home run in the 13th inning.
Yeah.
And he was excited, as he should have been. And he threw his bat down, and it is an emotional thing. And he did that. Now they're debating whether or not they're going to throw him out. Jack Leggett pops off to the umpires. Yep. He gets tossed. Bakich goes out there for an explanation. He gets tossed. And then they go, well, if Clemson wins, they'll be suspended the next 2 games.
Yep.
That's because umpires, there's a people factor. There's not always black and white.
Common sense, you're right. The rules, there's interpretation, and you and I do this all the time.
Right.
You write rules. I'm assuming for your athletic department, I write rules for my whole school, and there's a, I know what I meant for interpretation, but I know that other people are going to interpret it. There's a gauge, not a gauge. There's a gap. There's an area for interpretation. And it's like those guys today. And let me back up. I'm not saying I'm not going to say those umpires lost us the game.
No.
Florida, we walked and hit too many batters, and they hit too many home runs. Kids hit home runs.
They became part of the game, and they shouldn't be part of the game.
That is correct. But anyway, I hate it.
And I know at school, if there's this failure to obey punishment, right? Or you fail to obey an adult. There are so many different degrees of that. Like, correct. It's up to your interpretation. It used to be my interpretation, the assistant principals, and so it's not cut and dry. Oh, you didn't obey, you get 3 days OSS. There's different levels of that.
That's right.
Are to be interpreted. That's why it says up to 3 days or whatever.
And there's context to go with that. That for them to even consider doing something, I was telling my wife, if he would have been looking towards the other team's dugout when he slammed his bat down or something like that, it could have been interpreted as taunting or something.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be different. But he literally just hit what could have been the game-winning home run, and all he did was look at his own teammates and was like, yeah. And I mean, he didn't throw the bat. It didn't hurt anybody. And that was ridiculous for them to even be talking about that. And then, of course, that dominoed into the coaches.
Right. Well, you saw what I won't say what Leggett said, but clearly ESPN, when their cameras were working, they got it. Yeah. But I'm just going to do one thing. This is what I think about the officials officiating for today's baseball game. Okay. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Now, let's move on to my second gripe about this game.
All right.
About the coverage. One, you got a game in the 11th or 12th inning. You don't switch networks because another show's coming on. How many times are we waiting on a game to end at 3:30 for a Clemson game to start because the 12 o'clock game's not finished yet?
I was
right?
going to say, usually they do it the other way around.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anywho,
And that
next
about got
beef.
me because I'm in a hotel. I didn't know, does my hotel room TV have ESPNU? Thank goodness it did. But all right, what's next?
Dave Neal was the play-by-play guy. He works for the SEC network.
Right?
He does every South Carolina football game that's on the SEC network. And you may not notice this. Last weekend, he said Clemson was the SEC Atlantic champion twice.
I didn't know that. I was at the
Twice.
games last weekend. Well,
Well,
I've been on this show and I've said the thing about the media and promotes, and they promote where the money is, they promote where they put their money, and then that skews everything. And yeah, it's getting to it's getting, well, I'm worried what's going on with the conferences and stuff and the whole TV. It's going to be a bunch of have and have nots,
right.
but
Well,
that's a whole nother conversation.
I'll tell you this, Jimmy Overtop, I caught in high school. I can't imagine him catching 13 innings a day and then turn around and have to play tomorrow and catch without some dubby. You see how I did that?
Energy. Yeah, that's good.
Get your all natural, genderless energy. Go to dubby.gg and enter the promo code. What's the promo code, James? Fun fans?
Fun fans. That's right.
Wait a minute. There's another thing I'm supposed to be scrolling at the bottom.
Yeah, I got my True Victory shirt on.
Yep. True Victory. These things
That
are very,
code is the fanboys.
very small over here on the side of my.
Yeah, you gotta get the ticker going. That's what don't pay the bills. Hey, while Bailey's doing that, I'm going to point out a positive. We talked about how we're proud of the kids and proud of the team. It's unbelievably great season. Great season when you host a super regional, even though we lost two and whatever. How about Cam Canarella? Is that kid Clutch? If his middle name's not Clutch, it needs to be. Or I'm sure the kids nowadays have some other cool nickname for him. But yeah, that's the W one.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
But Cam, a shout out to him. If anybody he sees this and knows him, tell him that Fun Fans love the way he plays, love the way all of them play. And that's the thing. They all played with heart. They all played with grit. Just like our basketball team, just like all the teams at Clemson do. And that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun watching as a fan. But when and of course I said Willie Mays Hayes, and that just shows how into movies I am. But when he Willie Mays Hayes, that what would have been the game winner for Florida after hitting the 3-run homer, that was awesome.
It was unbelievable.
That was awesome.
And he hit the first pitch. Like they're like, oh, he loves these spots. Crack.
Boom.
It's in the bleachers.
So, and then I get a picture. He went to Hartsville, and I got a teacher that's from Hartsville, so he ends up she sends me a picture of him when he was in high school. He's kind of small.
He actually was a shortstop in high school. But he's a really good player.
He's a player. He's a player without a doubt. So anyway, all right. But the other stuff, other than Clemson baseball, we were going to talk about some things. Let's
talk about the lull, the LUL. Let's talk about Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
First of all, Caitlin Clark was left off of the Olympic team. Lisa Leslie, who is like an Olympian, an all-NBA player, one of the best women basketball players ever, said, "You're crazy if you leave the country without her."
Right.
Speaking of, go ahead.
So the question is, does it have anything to do with actual playing? Or should she be on the team for other reasons? Or both?
She can both.
Both. Yeah, that's it. The only thing now I heard is, you tell me if this is wrong, there are no rookies on the team. It was like a reward for the veteran players. And I could kind of get that. Is that what happened?
Are we trying to win? Or are we trying?
No.
I mean, we're going to win anyway.
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably.
I mean, I saw you sent me an interesting tweet this week. All right,
I
let's
did.
talk about Caitlin Clark and what she means to the WNBA. Attendance, I'm going to just average these real quick in my head.
Mm-hmm.
The average attendance for WNBA games this week that Caitlin Clark did not play in is somewhere around 6,500 people. The
Yep.
2 games she played in averaged over 17,000 people. Okay,
Yep.
so like her, don't like her, whatever, she can play and she puts behinds in seats and she
Yep.
makes people tune in. And that's what we know, that's what professional sports teams want.
It's entertainment.
That's right.
They have lost who knows how much money. And this is the thing. WNBA has for years talked about the gap and lack of money and all this. And here's their opportunity, and they don't like it for some reason. So it don't make any sense. If it was going to be a veteran only team, they should set that up front, and they should do that every year. But if they're doing that, then they're shooting themselves in the foot. So.
And so actually, you talked about the lull, and we mentioned Paris and the Olympics. That's later in the summer. Like I don't even think it's summer because we'll be back. I'll be back at school. Not that I'm leaving, but I've been there all summer. But all the kids will be back. A couple of days after the Olympics start. So, Fun Fans guest host Whit Jackson is currently in Europe. He was in Paris earlier. He was over there scouting out locations for the Olympics with a group from school, and now he's in Spain towards the end of his trip, which he returns here Wednesday. So he'll be gone 10 days, and he's having a blast in Europe. Paris was not his favorite though. So,
Oh goodness.
Anyway.
All right, so are we going to talk about some things that folks definitely should not miss? Are we getting off script?
Go ahead. I see.
All right.
I see it right there.
So it's not that there are not sports. Obviously, there's the NHL Stanley Cup Finals going right now, the NBA Finals going right now. You got WNBA. There are sports, but it's a little less sports going on right now than normal. Definitely not the football that's so popular, but there are a few summer events that in the Fun Fans world we definitely think that you should not miss. Number one is Nathan's hot dog eating contest. You can't miss that.
Yeah, I can. Comes on at noon every 4th of July.
Yeah.
And it's gross.
I think it's hilarious. All right, Bailey, there's got to be and when the Masters is in the spring, what summer golf tournament is a must watch? There's got to be
US
at least
Open.
one.
US Open.
Okay.
No
when
doubt.
is that?
It's in a couple weeks.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so US Open.
Maybe
that's at a different place every year. That's not like the Masters in the same place, right?
That's correct. The US Open is a true test of golf.
All right.
And it's actually at Pinehurst this year, which is just a couple hours from here.
Mm-hmm.
And it is it's in 2 weeks. I mean, I know it is. I don't know why I'm even looking it up, but it is.
All right, so we're going to say Nathan's hot dog, the US Open golf tournament.
Yeah. I mean, the Memorial was on today. I had 3 TVs going at one time. And Scotty Scheffler became the first
trifecta.
No, he won 5 times before the U.S. Open first got to do that, and I don't remember how long.
Oh, wow, 5. One thing that the Fun Fans think everyone should not miss in the summer is a good fireworks show. And I mean,
it's this week, James, the U.S. Open.
The U.S. Open. All right, so this coming weekend, that's good. So a good fireworks show. Now, who does a good fireworks show in your area, Bailey, in the Clover metropolitan area?
They have one at Lake Wiley every year.
Oh, I bet that's good.
Yeah.
Over the water and stuff.
Yes. Traffic is a nightmare. We don't go for that very reason. The Knights baseball in Charlotte actually has fireworks several times, mostly on Friday nights, but they do, if they're at home over the 4th of July, they have fireworks a couple times that week.
That'll be good. Greer we live really close to Greer, and Greer does a good show. Been really impressed with Greer. So if you're anywhere in the Greer area, you can add to that crowd.
One summer I helped run a fireworks stand.
And that used to be a thing for coaches back in the
It's a
day. I
lot
don't
of
know
work.
if they still do it.
Yeah, they still. I mean, we were set up out on Carowinds Boulevard, in the parking lot of a hotel, and we were. I mean, it's still a little dicey. Like, you got a lot of money in there, and people, if you're running one of those stands, we had some protection. Let's put it that way, because we were on the hook for all those fireworks.
Two shows in my life that are must if you get a chance. I've been fortunate enough to be in our nation's capital on the 4th of July. Saw the fireworks show over the National Mall, sitting at the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. I mean, if that don't make you want to call like a bald eagle, I don't know what will. That was really cool. But the best fireworks show, this thing went on for like 45 minutes. It about 3 or 4 times you thought it was the grand finale, but it just kept going. Was in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. So if you ever get a chance to check out that, they do it every year, and I found out that year they're known for their fireworks show. All right, so what else can you not miss? The Orange and White Alumni Weekend, August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. There's a tailgate on the 2nd. There's the gala on the 3rd. There's a golf tournament on the 4th. It's in Clemson. You get to rub elbows with a bunch of Clemson legends and all your Clemson family fans. So that's something you don't want to miss this summer. And what's the final thing that nobody wants to miss in the summer?
The podcast, man.
The podcast.
Every Sunday right here, 8 o'clock. What's 30 minutes? What's 30 minutes of your time?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Bailey, give us an O's update.
Oh, they're rolling. They just won the 3rd game in a row at Tampa Bay. Got game 4 of the series in the final game tomorrow. And then they come home. I should say go home to Baltimore, where they host the Braves, which is of local interest. And then they have the Yankees. So they're in the tough stretch of their season. I think they have like 40 games in 42 days or something crazy like that. But they're playing well right now. Keep your fingers crossed. We'll keep rolling. But they're still chasing the Yankees. Yankees bought them another team.
I'm right here near Baltimore. Are they playing the Braves like tomorrow night or something?
No, they're in Tampa one more game.
Oh man! Hey, we just missed them.
But if they were, I'd tell you to go to Camden Yards. It's awesome.
Definitely. Okay,
so cheap tickets on Tuesday nights too.
Finally, we have, and this is a very important, a very cool event to me. It's fun to watch. But for some reason, it used to be in the summer, but now it's earlier. It's the Scripps Spelling Bee. Now, and this is a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't able to talk about this last week. We ran out of time. And I'm about to butcher these names, but Bruhat Soma emerged victorious in the Scripps National Spelling Bee, earning more than $50,000 in cash and prizes. This year's contest, this is from CBS website, so I'm not plagiarizing.
So they ended in a tie. There was a tie.
There was a tiebreaker.
Overtime.
In which Soma spelled 29 words correctly in 90 seconds, beating out Faizan Zaki, who managed to correctly spell only 20 words in the lightning round. And my man Bruhat is a 7th grader from Tampa.
You know what we should do? We should have a lightning round on here. You ready? Cat.
Dog.
Bat.
I'm
guessing that the words that they spelled in 90 seconds were like harder words than that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I didn't know what the objective of our lightning round was. I just, you say cat.
I was going to get you to spell the words.
Okay. LOL.
Yes. LOL.
That's awesome. We'll have to do something like that for our 4th of July America is the greatest country on earth special.
That's right. But you know what? We're counting down. It's almost time for Tiger football.
I'm telling you, I can't wait.
Yep.
Cannot wait. We're 13-point underdogs.
Shock the world. We got that. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you lose that game. It doesn't matter anymore because there's going to be 12 teams in the playoffs.
Yeah, plus it's Georgia. You assume that they're going to go undefeated or something. So
You
if
would assume.
if that's our only loss, it'll be okay.
All right, so let's move on.
All right,
Since I'm running the show.
Yeah, you're running the show. You tell me what to do next.
Well, we're excited. We have a new partnership, right, with Ivy O'Sullivan Healthcare Services located in downtown Spartanburg.
Yep.
And we're going to have more news about that, more information about that in weeks to come.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to tonight's show, James?
I just appreciate everyone listening and support the kids. It was a great baseball season. Don't let the umpires ruin it for the fans.
Officials don't win and lose games.
That's right.
Well, it's time to sign off because this producer's getting tired. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Remember, have a great summer. Support your local schools. Thanks for checking us out. And every Sunday, come on back, 8 o'clock, right here, Fun Fans Podcast. You can also check out our YouTube channel. You can follow us on social media. And please share and like. All right. And if you are interested in being a sponsor, go ahead and reach out to James Dillard. And so on behalf of the Fun Fans Podcast, J Thrill Entertainment, the Fanboys Fangirls Podcast Network, and my co-host, James Dillard, thanks for
You're
listening.
out of here.
Yep. You got to go, Leggett. Bye, everybody.